Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be. One of the best books I've read this year. Steven Pressfield, one of my favorite artists, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, or I should say authors, not artists. Let's start by looking at his writing style. First of all, Steven Pressfield. You see there's a lot of white space on these pages. You see some of these pages, I have some dog ears or whatever they're called. And he doesn't fill up every single page. I think a lot of people get bogged down or they don't finish books. There's some crazy statistic, maybe you guys can look it up, where people start books and they only read on average like the first chapter. They don't even get past the first chapter. I don't even know what the stat is. Actually, I'm going to look it up while you guys are on this video real quick. But Steven Pressfield, I'm going to multitask. I'm not big on multitasking, but you guys need to know. How many people finish a book? Out of 97 people who begin, 30 out of 1,000 go on to finish it. Doesn't even make any sense. How many people finish a book on average? Let's go reading. 63% of readers do not finish a book. 63% of readers don't finish a book. Steven Pressfield, his writing style is very simple, very to the point, and you can see almost every page is like a little mini chapter in and of itself. And then he has it broken down into these sections, right? Put your ass in a space. And then he goes on for a couple of chapters that are very short, very clear. Look at this. This chapter, you could say, is not even half the page. So I think there's a level of dopamine that our brain gets from saying, okay, wow, I finished that page, I finished that section, I finished that chapter, whatever it may be. That's extremely valuable in reading his books. But they're so dense, and he's such a good storyteller. He gets a lot of information across in such a short period of time. So many writers, and you can see behind me, I read a lot of books. They write these long, tedious chapters, and it's number one, it's boring. And number two, it's a strain on the eyes. I think it's a terrible way to learn, to force yourself to go through a book, especially when it's boring. But here's a couple of key takeaways from Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be. I'm going to put it here just as I go through a couple of notes, okay? Here's the summary of putting your ass where your heart wants to be. Get up in the morning and do your work. And to lie down at night feeling at peace with ourselves, knowing for this one day, at least we have defeated our demons and move 24 hours closer to living the true self and the best self we were born to be. Literally just putting our physical body where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. He goes on, giving a couple of examples of himself. Like, he does not have any expectations for quality or quantity. He just wants himself sitting in front of a keyboard writing for 3 to 4 hours every single day. This goes for athletes. This goes for entrepreneurs. This goes for business professionals. What is that one thing where you need to put your ass where it's supposed to be? Whether it's on a project, whether it's training physically, whether it's, getting your job done, whatever that may be. Tweak little by little, day by day. He goes on to explain, physical location. Put yourself in a physical location. So putting your ass where your heart needs to be is physically putting yourself where you need to be. Maybe you need to get and move to another city. Maybe you need to go to a different part of town and put your ass where it needs to be. He also really emphasizes the point, putting your mind where your heart wants to be, right? Putting your ass is just in reference to you being there, physically being there, but mentally being there as well, where your heart wants to be. Working day in and day out, and I love this piece of it. Exertion and concentration produces progress and order. The laws of the universe. So just by simply putting the time, energy, and effort in, the concentration and exertion, as he would say, into what you're supposed to be doing, the laws of the universe start to work in your favor. So you may not get what you want when you want it, but by putting in the time, energy, and effort, eventually things will start moving your way. That's just the law of the universe. We just don't get to decide when and where it happens. Commit. If there's any hesitancy, it will lead to an ineffectiveness. Man, how true is this? There's always that little voice. There's always that little inkling of thought that says, you're not good enough. You can't do that. You can't finish that. People won't like that. You can't win that game, that match. You can't be as good as you want to be. That little hesitancy, that little voice, if we listen to it, if we let it live in our mind, it will stop us. It will prevent us from doing what we want to do. We've got to defeat that voice where we commit and we say, I'm moving forward, full force, with full expectation that I will achieve what I want to achieve, that I will have the relationship that I want to have, that I will be able to win what I want to win. And with the idea that there is no perfection, we just constantly strive for perfection. That's what practice is all about. And I love this part of it. And we're going to wrap it up here. What would it be like to train alongside Tom Brady? To be training partners with Steph Curry? So putting our ass where our heart wants to be is about commitment at the highest level possible. Commitment to be one of the best in our fields. You don't have to be Tom Brady in the NFL. You don't have to be Steph Curry in the NBA. To be the best, maybe in our business. To be the best, maybe in our town. To be the best, maybe in our local community. Whatever it may be. But do it at the highest level possible. Not just to get by. Not just to check it off the to-do list to say we've got it done. But to do it at the highest level possible. Because there is no other day than today. Today's the day. And putting our asses where our heart wants to be means putting it out there for the world to see. There's a lot of artists, there's a lot of athletes, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that create these pieces of work, these skill sets, these businesses, and they don't ship it. They don't put it out there. They don't put it out there for everybody to see, to be judged. Because isn't that a fear that a lot of us have? To be judged, to be not liked. Because if we're judged and people don't like us, then we're no longer part of the group, part of the community. And our brain says, no, that's not good. That puts us in danger. That's just our primal brain speaking. Because hundreds of years ago, if we weren't part of the community, part of the tribe, we were cast out into the wilderness and we were stuck on our own. We don't have to live like that anymore. But that's the way our primal brain operates. So we've got to ship it. We've got to put it out there for the world. We got to have, another book that I like, The Courage to be Disliked. We have to have the courage to be disliked. So I hope you guys like it. I give this an A+. I love Steven Pressfield in so many different ways. If you guys need a little bit of inspiration, a little dose of motivation, a little kick in the ass, it's a great route to go. So A+, 5 stars, whatever you want to give it. Great book. Go check it out.